Attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188, and you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This time of year, it's hot. But with Brooks & Collier, you can be outside and comfortable. That's why Brooks & Collier has deep discounts on a large selection of patio umbrellas, furniture, and grills. With these patio umbrellas, you're sure to have a nice, shaded spot to relax. Lucy knows the best spot is a shaded spot. So if you're looking to spruce up your backyard and make it more comfortable, visit North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years. 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talking Ball with Scott and Drew.
And welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, 7:32 on a Friday morning, 256-576-4977. You can get in on the conversation this morning if you so choose. We've been talking about how much money Deion Sanders would command or get if he so choose to take over a Power 5 program. And the brands for high school or the brands for colleges as voted on by high school kids. 1,000 high school football players were surveyed, and the number one brand is Alabama, followed by Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma, Clemson, LSU, Texas A&M, Texas, Oregon, and Miami. Those are the top 10 brands right now in college football as surveyed by the 1,000 football players. We now visit with Richard, who's joined us on line one. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, guys. On Deion, one thing on the your HBCU coaches, I read an article, and I can't remember if it was football or basketball, and Deion's a different person because of name recognition. Almost none of them ever get big promotions, say to the next level. I was kind of surprised, but and you guys keep up with Alabama A&M here in town, but you think about it, you've never seen like a SWAC coach very often, or these other coaches go to a Florida State or even something like a Miami of Ohio.
No, they don't. Anthony Jones, you go back, Anthony Jones. The only one I know, Ron Cooper. Ron Cooper came from Louisville, got into some difficult situations there in Louisville, came here as Alabama A&M head coach, and then when he left Alabama A&M, he has been a journeyman around the SEC. He has been at LSU, South Carolina, Mississippi State.
Not a head coach, though.
Not as a head coach. You're right, as assistant coaches. Yeah. But there's not been one that I can remember.
Like I said, Deion's a different, playing football and, baseball and, his name recognition. So he's a different, coach in there. But one thing, too, is his high school he ran in Dallas, the kids didn't go to class. So I don't know if a major college like Florida State would hold that against them. It was mainly to get kids scholarships, but the NCAA started checking out, I guess, transcripts, and they sort of forgot to attend class at his high school in Dallas. They sort of had a problem, like maybe no teachers and such as that. And Drew may remember an Alabama basketball player that Alabama had committed at one time, and basically he never was eligible and had to go play in Australia.
Yeah,
he went to Deion's high school.
Yeah, I mean, and I know it was kind of a private school. Maybe Dion helped start, so yeah, it had to be.
Yeah.
It needed to be a legitimate school. So again, I do think he's going to have to prove himself over at least a 3 to 5 year period before these kind of opportunities present themselves. But I just think potentially, he could be a trailblazer in this situation. But again, he's going to have to prove that he can run a program on a year-to-year basis and dominate that league, because really we haven't seen Jackson State do that. That's been more, Doug Williams had a good run at Grambling. We saw them make way, and then Doug Williams went back to the NFL. He is in the front office with Tampa and things of that nature. He has not in the Commanders. He's not been a head coach on the NFL level, but certainly he went back to the National Football League.
And lots of times when coaches take over at SWAC schools, and you look at who has taken over some of these schools, even like Rod Broadway, when they stay at these schools, if they have success, they stay there for years. I mean, 10, 15, 20 years. They're there for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I would think Florida State, like you're saying, may panic, if Norvell doesn't work out. And one thing too is, like you were talking about I guess booster support at Florida State, is somebody like Dion, you would think could, really go out and, kind of work the boosters and, and probably increase the funds. But one thing about Florida State was, I think up until like 47, it was a women's school.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so you don't have these, legacies of, my grandfather, father, and uncle, all went to, Florida State. It only goes back, one generation or so. So you don't have, the historical, giving, and these families with, the family tree all went to Florida State. Basically that's Florida.
Yeah, and one of the problems with FSU right now is something of that ilk. Richard, is like you have the two Johnson brothers. Max Johnson and his brother are both at Texas A&M. They're not at Florida State because the program has not been on solid ground. So again, it's one of those things where, and when Coach Bowden went there in the 70s, FSU there was even thought of them dropping football if Coach Bowden hadn't been able to get there and turn it around so quickly.
I do. I hadn't seen my sister's friend. She's a Bama football fan, but her mother was a FSU trustee and used to fly on the plane with Bowden and Dirtneck. So I'll have to get some gossip from her when I'll see her here. And once the football season starts, she usually comes up for a few games. But I'll have to get some gossip on Dirtneck for you there.
There you go, Richard. Appreciate it.
All right, 256-576-4977. Here is something interesting. So, we're not saying that Florida State is going to buy out Mike Norvell. If it doesn't happen, they would have to figure out a way to buy him out. His buyout clause was set at $5 million. It decreases by $1 million annually. His buyout decreases from $4 to $3 million in the 2022 season. So this year his buyout was only $3 million. Not a hard buyout by any standard. But the problem is the buyout from Willie Taggart is what could get Florida State problems, because when Willie Taggart came to Florida State
from Oregon,
Florida State agreed to pay the $3 million. Not only did they have to, when they fired him, it was so early on that they still had to pay Oregon's $3 million buyout to get him to Florida State, plus $1.3 million that Oregon did not pay to South Florida to get him out of South Florida to go to Eugene. Florida State paid all of that. In all, Florida State is having to pay Willie Taggart $20 million in buyout money. That is why Florida State does not have a lot of money right now to spend. as far as buyouts go. They had to pay South Florida and they had to pay Oregon on top of having to pay Willie Taggart.
Yeah,
So,
Willie, he's not quite dirt neck, but he's certainly probably going to be okay financially for the rest of his life.
Very well. I don't even know where is
he's
he.
At Florida Atlantic.
Florida Atlantic right now.
Probably going to get fired after this year.
And get another buyout.
Probably.
That's the job to have.
I mean,
is to be a bad
he was
college
doing a good
football
job,
coach.
at Western Kentucky, and ever since he started trying to move up the ladder, it's been a disaster. So it's, and actually his first year at Oregon wasn't horrific. It was 7-5.
Right.
And then he left after a year because Florida State was considered his dream job, and I think it was, but it was bad timing. I mean, you're trying to take over for Dirt Neck, and then it's a disaster. I mean, he comes in and the program's just in shambles, and he's trying to fix things, and he probably was a little over his head from a standpoint of a job of that nature, and we don't know how he would have done long term at Oregon. Okay. And so, and it's all, and see, he left Mario Cristobal that job. Mario got, by some thought, surprisingly promoted to head coach.
Right.
And he takes it off and wins a couple of Pac-12 titles, and he uses that as a springboard to get back to his alma mater at Miami for $8 million a year. And then now they're the Ruiz Hurricanes with the highest salary cap in all of college football, even though they haven't won anything in 20 years. Never won the ACC, Well, only time they made the championship game, we talked about that ad nauseum. They lost by 35.
Now, come on. Do we think, and I'm going to ask you this, do you honestly believe Texas A&M and Miami are the only two schools paying for kids to come to school?
I already said earlier to start the show that Tennessee, Louisville, I left Louisville out. I should have included them because, Reuben Owens or whatever the hell his name is, one of the best running backs. He's a 5-star running back. He grew up his whole life wanting to go to Louisville and lose.
Do we think that Alabama and Auburn are paying kids to come to their schools?
Everybody's getting something. I'm just talking about I don't think Alabama and Auburn are paying kids, $800,000 like Evan Stewart's walking into Dirt Neckville and making $800,000 because he would never go to Dirt Neckville unless he was getting paid $800,000. Because why would you?
Right.
To go 8-4. I mean, I know he's from Texas. He's from Houston, the Houston area, and he's a talented player. But and he thought so much of his high school that he basically quit halfway through his senior year because probably that's when the checks started rolling in.
Jimbo gave us his recruiting speech yesterday and said you could be the first.
Yeah,
you can be the first.
He just left out the part about there has been somebody do it. It's just it was it was in before two platoon football and when they didn't have bars on the helmets. And Jimbo wasn't even born at the time.
Probably saw some of that in the college football
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
He probably. I wonder if he walked through there to try to check it out. Maybe they did have like
past the face mask.
Did he?
Because he was on Marty McGee, and when you left Marty McGee and came, you walked past the chronological order of face mask and headgear in college football, from the leather all the way to what we have now. Is it, what did you say, Floyd?
Floyd, yep, Floyd's waiting.
Good morning, Floyd.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Just wondering, with all this serious talk about NIL and everything, did you hear about the wide receiver from Nebraska?
Not heard about this one.
He signed an NIL deal with a local heating and cooling company, and his first name is DeColdis.
Now I'm looking at it right now.
Wow.
Yeah, DeColdis Crawford has signed an NIL deal to be the spokesman for SOS Heating and Cooling.
The coldest, huh?
Yep.
Well, the coldest.
Lately from Nebraska, it's been the coldest too because they've stunk.
I just thought.
But it's a cool, it's a smart move by the young man. I mean, it works marketing wise. I just hope he, as far as being in the vernacular of cold, I hope he's cold means good in this instance, and he's a good player.
Yeah. This is true.
You know,
but I didn't know if you guys had seen that or not.
I've not seen that. Is I'm looking at it now. That is pretty good.
Yeah.
But and that's really what this thing was supposed to be about, anyway.
No, that is, and when when Drew and I had a chance to sit down with SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, these were the type of deals that he told us that were good. Mm-hmm. He went through and he actually knew names of guys in South Carolina and Auburn and Alabama, ones that actually had good, unique deals for name, image,
Yeah,
and
he was talking
likeness.
about Bojangles.
Yeah, he knew them all.
Yeah.
And the ones that he's not happy with are not that they're in the SEC, but the Malachi Nelson deals. Those are the ones he.
And how ironic that Dirt Neck's got him on campus trying to recruit him. Isn't that a shock?
Yeah, really. Yeah, but I didn't know. I was just gonna throw that out there this morning.
Thank you, Floyd.
What about this? As we get ready to go to break, what if DeColdis got a deal for Icy Hot?
Or Ices, you know?
There's a lot you could do. All right, let's get that break in. When we come back, wrap up hour one of Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning. We are working with a clean slate accident-wise. Heavy traffic load all across the valley. You be careful on that ride in this morning. Put some extra room in there so you have somewhere to go if something goes wrong around you. Why not get healthy where it's cool? You could become a Y member and enjoy over 200 group classes, swimming pools, awesome fitness equipment, and free child care. The YMCA, Huntsville, and Madison will keep the air on for you. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that. Chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Right now, you can get $50 worth of Bad Daddy goodness for just $25 with our zone deals. Log on 977ESPN.com now to get your deal before they're gone.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Mercury Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, Mercury Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Mercury Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, Mercury Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Local sports is covered right here.
Well, appreciate what you guys do for sports, but also for high school sports and taking time to talk to us. That means a lot, and appreciate what you guys do, and appreciate you having us on.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, I'm Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia in Huntsville, Alabama. We are the proud transportation sponsors of Talking Ball at 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, wrapping up hour 1 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, 256-576-4977. That is how you can get in on the conversations this morning, if you so would like. Just a short time left. We've been talking about name, image, and likeness. We've been talking about deals, talking about recruiting visits. You know, isn't it Dabo Swinney that believes, and I believe this is one of his stances still that he has, that once you commit to Clemson, he doesn't want you taking visits to other schools. Isn't that one of Dabo's?
Yeah, that's still, he still lives by that mantra, correct.
So Malachi Nelson could not, if he was
committed to Clemson,
he would not be able to take this trip to Texas A&M. If this was not Texas A&M and everything that has come out about, supposedly, about this recruiting class and being all of this money going towards all of this, if this was Malachi Nelson and Malachi didn't have all of these name, image, and likeness stuffs before going to USC, we wouldn't really care, would we?
About what, in visiting Texas A&M?
We wouldn't. I mean, it would be just another guy taking. Because in the past, wasn't it? Oh, because you got 5 official visits, and you always wanted to take them.
Well,
because
there is more scrutiny and media attention because of the salary cap at ATM last year. Because again, Malachi Nelson's from the state of California. I mean, why is he going to Texas A&M? Has Jimbo had a first-round draft pick at quarterback at Texas A&M yet? No. How many of his quarterbacks at Florida State who went in the first round are still in the NFL? Crab Legs is the only one. All the rest of them washed out because they stunk. Okay? His acumen as a quarterback developer is overrated. I mean, they may be productive in college, and they are, but they don't translate to the NFL. Okay, and a lot of his guys don't. I guess he did have a great secondary at Florida State, and he talked about that with with his publicist Colin Cowherd earlier this week on when we played some of that, and he talked about how they had a secondary with five starters, and all of them are still in the NFL. Of course, Jeremy Pruitt coached those guys, not Jimbo. Jimbo's not a defensive guy at all. He needed Jeremy to win the national championship, okay? That's why he hired him. And he won the national title because of Jeremy Pruitt. And I know Jeremy ran afoul of the NCAA. Interesting that he got stabbed in the back by Fatlock and got fired. But still, obviously made some mistakes. But the one thing that is universal is that he's a great defensive mind. And he helped Florida State win a national championship. Now, it was gift wrapped by Auburn blowing a 20-3 lead in the game and on that Cinderella run that Gus Malzahn made. And honestly, that made Gus's career because he got a lot of equity out of that. And he did beat Nick Saban 3 times, 2 more times after that year.
Right.
And he was able to stay at Auburn for, basically a decade before going on to UCF. But, again, I think that when you look at it and you peel back the onion, there's just things with Dirtneck that I just don't think he's a big-time coach. Now he was basically almost referring to himself in third person with talking, 1,000 words a minute with Cowturd, talking about how he's one of 5 coaches to win a national championship. Likes to point that out. But like I said, he had some help. Everything lined up for him perfectly that year, and he has not won one since and hasn't come close. He's made 1 playoff appearance since then, and that was a 30-point loss to Marcus Mariota. So there's no telling what Urban Meyer would have done to him at Ohio State. And you know what? A huge fan of Herb that I am. But, I mean, Herb is a much better football coach than Dirtneck.
Well, both of them, they'll leave programs in a mess.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
they
Urban left Florida in a mess. He didn't leave Ohio State in a mess. Urban did not leave Ohio State in a mess. I have to say that I think Ryan Day...
Well, remember how he left, though. There was some controversy. There was still some off-the-field things going on.
But Ryan Day walked into a better situation at Ohio State than what Jim McElwain and they did at Florida. All right, let's get that break in. When we come back, bring in our first guest of the morning. Got to talk some college football, all that and more. 97.7 ESPN. Zone.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning. We are working with a clean slate accident-wise. Heavy traffic load all across the valley. You be careful on that ride in this morning. Put some extra room in there so you have somewhere to go if something goes wrong around you. Why not get healthy where it's cool? You could become a Y member and enjoy over 200 group classes, swimming pools, awesome fitness equipment, and free childcare. The YMCA, Huntsville, and Madison. We'll keep the air on for you. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially through the heart of the afternoon, and then that activity is going to continue as we head into the evening, the overnight, and then through the front half of the weekend. Because of that opportunity for scattered showers and thunderstorms, not going to be near as warm Friday afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s. We're going to maintain that cooler air as we head into the front half of your weekend with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
UFC 277 in Dallas tomorrow. The main event, the women's bantamweight title. Amanda Nunes minus 275. Juliana Pena plus 225. Brandon Moreno at minus 220 against Kai Kara France at plus 175 for the interim flyweight belt. Inside of a week until the start of the preseason, Raiders and Jaguars in Canton this coming Thursday night. Vegas a 1.5-point favorite, 33 to total. Tonight, the Braves hosting the Diamondbacks this weekend. Atlanta minus 244 on the money line in Game 1 tonight. Arizona at plus 180. The over-under at 9. Atlanta taking 1 out of 3 in Philadelphia against the Phillies last time out. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It is hour 2 of Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. We are live on a Friday morning. Just one more hour to go until we get to enjoy 48 hours away from this. We'll be back at it on Monday live from Bill Penny Toyota Service Department. But between now and then, we're going to continue to break down and get ready for college football. The start of the college football season could not get any faster. 29 days away from the start, 36 days away from Alabama and Auburn putting the ball on the tee and getting everything going. We mentioned that Big Ten Media Days were earlier in the week. We had SEC Media Days. We got the Pac-12 Media Days going on today.
And you ask about with that location. I believe it's in Los Angeles.
I want to say they've had it in Las. That's the reason why I was confused was because I think they had it in Las Vegas one time a couple years ago or maybe a year ago. I believe it may have been last year because the Pac-12 championship game had moved to Las Vegas. So I don't know where they're all at. I know where the SEC Media Day was because I was there. That's the only really thing that matters. I know Big 12 had theirs inside Lucas Oil, yeah. No, Big 12 had theirs inside Jerry's World.
Jerry World, yeah, they did.
Big 10 had theirs inside Lucas.
Yeah.
The College Football Hall of Fame was gracious enough to host us. That's all I know.
Yeah, because we were talking about your previous history, of course, when you covered the Big Ten before coming here, and you had done it at a hotel.
It was in a hotel.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's we were talking about that. Yeah, in a ballroom. We were talking about that yesterday. Certainly, our next guest wasn't in a ballroom, but she was in the College Football Hall of Fame in the main room and doing a great job covering college football for the Wall Street Journal. Then she made her way to Lucas Oil Stadium this week to cover Big Ten Media Days. She's able to cover college football for one of the most respected sources of information and publications in the United States, if not the world, with the Wall Street Journal. And it's always great to make new connections each year at the SEC Media Days. Certainly this is one we made at 97.7 The Zone. And for the first time, she's going to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline to give her thoughts on SEC Media Days and the Big Ten, with USC and UCLA making their way to that league by 2024. And, of course, we're talking about Lane Higgins, and she's with us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Lane, you're with Drew and Scott here in Huntsville on 97.7 The Zone. Welcome to the show. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, and thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, how much of a disappointment was the Big Ten Media Days? This is the land of the SEC, so we can get away with this. So how much of a disappointment and a letdown was it going from the College Football Hall of Fame to Lucas Oil Field?
I guess if there is any knock on the Big Ten, it's that, those little, plasticky rubber things that are on the turf field get stuck in your shoes when you're walking around.
The pellets.
But it wasn't an ice box like the College Football Hall of Fame because, there was a thunderstorm in the AC and I was, sitting there just shivering. I'm like, I'm in Atlanta in July. What the heck is going on?
No, I will agree with you that College Football Hall of Fame, the temperature had to be about 58 degrees the entire week.
Yeah.
But it didn't keep some heat though, especially at SEC Media Days. The coldness inside didn't keep the heat from being on a Jimbo Fisher to close things out. It didn't stop the conversation from being a little warm around the conference.
Absolutely. And you may not want to hear this, but everyone talks. The talking season's a little bit longer in the Big Ten because in addition to having the coaches on the podium like we got at in the College Football Hall of Fame, there's also breakout sessions, and that's really where a lot of these coaches it's a little more contemporaneous speaking. It's a little bit more chopping it up, talking about funny things. Jim Harbaugh talked about embarrassing his daughter in front of Dolce & Gabbana models on TikTok. You get lots of funny anecdotes. And one thing that I thought was interesting that is probably not going to make it into any story is C.J. Stroud, the quarterback at Ohio State, who's likely to challenge Bryce Young for the Heisman, said that in the offseason he really wanted to bond with his defense and just become a leader on the team. And in order to do that, he had them over and cooked them soul food. So he had, I think, fried chicken, mac and cheese. Didn't sound like there was a lot of vegetables there, but he's quite the cook and learned from his mom. So I kind of like that there's little things like that can come out this time of season as everyone's kind of just chomping at the bit to get to the football.
Well, and Lane, as you and I discussed, you do go to several training camps as far as fall camps for around college football, and you make your way around the United States to cover teams that are making headlines, and then when you're covering it for the Wall Street Journal. But this was your first trip to SEC Media Days. Your thoughts overall on the show of it, as you kind of referenced. The SEC kind of makes a showcase out of this event each and every year.
Oh yes, I mean the fans that show up with signs and are just so excited crack me up because that's what makes college football so great is that you have people that are that enthusiastic about it and. The guys that showed up in their full-on Alabama game day gear just to, hear Nick Saban talk for 20 minutes is pretty incredible.
Well, what did you take away from SEC Media Days? Your biggest takeaway from all the conversation that you heard from all of the 14 coaches?
I mean, obviously the coaches got into plenty of interesting stuff, and I think that I was, particularly noted Kirby Smart's comments on, how he thought players maybe shouldn't be having that much money, at the same time that he's signing this massive contract extension. And, some of the comments about name, image, and likeness and just where things are going with that. I think more than anything, though, I was really impressed with Greg Sankey. And, he's not that he's a performer, but he's got the charisma, and you can see why he's been, a fantastic leader over the course of the last, I don't know how long he's been at the SEC, but especially in the last year as things have been uncertain in, the college sports space. He really, I think he was very commanding when he was talking about where he saw everything going. And I think also just the extent to which, he knows the coaches and can share little anecdotes about them was pretty funny. So I was impressed with that as well.
Well, and I thought you got the best answer out of Nick Saban. I mean, we know he takes his 25, 30 minutes to put out his talking points, and he always has, I think, a plan behind what he wants to say, even with the questions that he's asked by the reporters. But you asked a pointed NIL question. What were your thoughts on the feedback you got from Coach Saban?
I mean, I was sort of hoping he would maybe get into the spicier side like he did at that meeting before the Birmingham World Games. Obviously, he's learned his lesson there. But no, I mean, I think he really raises a point in that, there is a lot of areas of this where it seems like we just kind of changed a rule and didn't have any sort of guidance on how that would actually affect the athletes in the game. And, he's someone that at Alabama, they're always going to be able to be at the forefront and probably beat you at their own game, or at the game, in terms of NIL and opportunities and all that. And so he doesn't need to be advocating for a fairer playing field, but the fact that he is, I think, is telling about how, skewed he thinks things are.
Mm-hmm.
Other coach, Jimbo Fisher faced a lot of questions. It was funny because the whole conversation around SEC Media Days was Nick Saban didn't get one question about Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher got 4 questions about Nick Saban. How did you think Jimbo navigated all of the waters there in Atlanta?
I think he did as best a job as he could. Obviously, if you're a coach up there, you don't want the conversation to be about you and any personal feud you have.
Yeah.
You want it to be about, your players and whatnot. And, I think it was Will Anderson, so not Jimbo, but he said, it's going to be settled on the field on October 8th. And I think that that's probably what Jimbo wanted to push it towards as well. This whole narrative about, how much they're talking, these guys are incredibly busy recruiting, running their programs, doing all that stuff. I'm sure, certain friends exchange a text here and there, but I really do wonder how unusual it is that they're not talking, because I think, Kirby and, Lane, they all have these connections to Nick Saban, but I doubt they're texting buddies. So I think I'm curious, how much of an outlier that is. And I think that, Jimbo is probably glossing over it because he wants it to go away, but also probably because it maybe isn't that weird. Because, these guys have huge coaching trees, and I'm sure that they make time for whoever they can, but the bigger priority for them is not to catch up with old buddies, but it's to, recruit the best class they can, and that's just relentless.
Well, and now we wanted to get your thoughts from Big Ten Media Days. You were there at Lucas Oil Stadium, and we're talking to Lane Higgins, college football reporter for the Wall Street Journal. What was your biggest takeaways? I know you covered Ryan Day's press conference. Ohio State seems to be definitely hungry with an edge. They've made some changes defensively. What did you take away from Big Ten Media Days first and foremost?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that it's a very different climate around Kevin Warren right now. There was a lot more criticism of him going into the last 2 seasons, I think, partially because of the wake of how the Big Ten handled COVID. Whether that was fair criticism or not is beside the point. It's just I think he has gotten more comfortable in the role because it is a lot different than how he led for the Vikings. Like, it's not as public-facing of a role to be, managing the revenue and doing what he did there. So I think that he's really grown into it in a good way. And, he was really commanding when he was talking about where the Big Ten is headed. It's clear that they believe the conference is in a position of power and that they don't need to do any rash decisions. And, I think to that end, Kevin was very careful to not make any promises or not mention specific schools. So I think any of those reports that you're seeing right now that are saying, this is the short list or that's what we're doing, like, I would read that with a very large grain of salt right now. But I think, we'll see. The media day, the media deal that the Big Ten is working on is obviously, on its way. I know that they wanted to have it done by this week, but those agreements are very complex, and I think that's what happens with the Big Ten's media deal as well as the Pac-12 exclusive negotiating window with ESPN. I think that those are going to be the biggest factors in whatever the next wave of realignment is, if it happens this year or later. So that wasn't necessarily something that Kevin Warren got into in great detail at Media Day because he doesn't have a media deal to deliver yet. But I do think that it's going to be big, whatever it is.
Do you get a sense, and I know Kevin Warren played his hand the best he could to try not to allude to expansion or read too much into it, kept his cards the best he could. But do you get a sense, though, that the Big Ten is wanting to continue to expand, maybe add an Oregon or a Washington to its mix?
We even heard Cal and Stanford mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd never say never, right? Because
Right.
if the opportunity is good enough and the fit is good enough, you're going to do it. But I think, I mean, one thing that he reiterated over and over is it's about, the goodness of fit. We don't need to rush into this. And just because there's a school that wants to join, I mean, the Big Ten is in the position of power. They're not actively looking and saying, hey, we want to add you. Like, they have people lining up and saying, if there's an opportunity, we'd love to be considered. And I think the biggest thing is that it's complicated when you have new members enter, because that means you probably have to renegotiate the media deal and any progress you've made to that end. It also means that, you're thinking about scheduling. There's just lots of different, concerns. And 16 is a good, nice number. That's, you can divide that a lot of ways. And, maybe 17 is not 18. You could do pods of 6. I don't know. But I think that there are real considerations about, okay, what would that look like? Is there a sense that it's getting too big? Because at a certain point, there is a little element of diminishing returns for every school you add. Maybe you get a little bit more money from your TV deal, you have more revenue from other sources, et cetera, but you're also dividing it more ways. So I think, they're thinking long and hard before dividing anything by more than 16.
And Lane, based on what you heard and who you spoke with while you were in Indianapolis, is it the Big Ten considered a layup for Ohio State this year? Is there thoughts that Michigan, that finally ended that losing streak to the to their bitter rivals? I know they've had to retool a little bit, but they did make the college football playoff a year ago. What's the gist and the feel around the Big Ten this year?
I mean, I don't know. It's obviously Ohio State's going to be good. I think the main question is on their defense. They have a new coordinator and they have a lot of talent back, but they lost a lot of talent. I think that, main question is not their offense, because C.J. Stroud and Jackson Smith-Njigba are going to do some crazy things, I'm sure. But it's about kind of the rest of it. And Michigan, for the first time in a long, long time, has a legitimate quarterback battle between two, capable guys under center happening this spring, or not the spring, happened sort of this spring, but definitely in the summer going into camp. Caden McNamara is the QB1 for now, but I think that having some sort of continuity on leadership is in that position when you do have a new offensive and defensive coordinator is huge. Granted, the defensive coordinator that's coming in is from the same system as Mike McDonald, in that they were both, shortlisted by John Harbaugh to Jim, and Jim was like, sure, I'll take one. And then when that one left, he's like, I'll take the other. So I really just don't know, because this year the game is at the Shoe, which, maybe is a point in Ohio State's favor. They're obviously really hungry, but it's not like Michigan is ever going to go into that game thinking they've got it in the bag. And, I really don't know. I think it'll depend on injuries, and it's so late in the season that it's really hard to know what's going to happen. But I would not be surprised if, whoever makes the Big Ten title from the East is determined by the winner of that game. And, if history is any indication, a team from the East has won the Big Ten championship, I think, every single year since the Big Ten went to those divisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's not count out the West. My Iowa Hawkeyes, we got embarrassed.
Iowa native here.
Yeah, we made it to the Big Ten championship game twice. We've made it twice now.
Yeah.
Got embarrassed last year by Michigan.
I mean,
but who comes out of the
Minnesota.
West, though? Is anybody capable in that West there in the Big Ten to even challenge a Michigan or Ohio State?
I mean, I don't know. Wisconsin has gotten close several times. I think I have my questions about Minnesota, but I honestly think that they could be pretty good this year with Tanner Morgan coming back and Mo Ibrahim, who's one of the most explosive running backs in the country, but, went down with an ACL tear 1/2 into the season last year. And I don't know. Iowa, they've got a great defense, but as we saw last year, that only gets you so far if you can't put up points. So I don't know. I mean, it really depends on how the season goes and who shows up in that game. And I think injuries are going to play a huge factor in this. And then additionally, with, the whole East-West thing, there is this strange pattern at Northwestern where, like, every other year they win 3 games, and then the off years they do great and make the Big Ten title game. So, given that pattern, Pat Fitzgerald is due for a trip to Indy. So maybe Northwestern is just going to surprise us all. I don't know.
Yeah, well, last couple of minutes with Lane Higgins. And, Scott, I know you're a foodie. We all know that. She on her Twitter account, it says she is a breakfast pastry aficionado. So I was going to pick your brain really quickly. I mean, what did you think of the food? We thought it was improved at SEC Media Days.
Well, it's hard. I don't have a big baseline, but, media food is usually it's all right. It's hard to top the food when you go to some of the pro stadiums. Like, I think when there has been games at Mercedes-Benz is pretty fantastic. But yeah, it was all right. I mean, I'm never going to turn down a biscuit, and there were plenty of biscuits, so no complaint.
That's right. That's my thing. I'm not going to turn down if you're kind enough to offer a free lunch.
Yeah,
I'm going to take advantage of it. And it was,
absolutely.
So yes.
No question about that. And then finally, Lane, I know fall camps are starting next week. What is your itinerary to who are you going to check out? Are you going to be hitting up any fall camps before the season starts?
I will be, but kind of TBD. I'm still trying to get my itinerary all together because first and foremost, I am going home to Minnesota and up to the lake to check out and take some time to refresh before diving into college football season. So I will be off the grid a little bit next week and then back in the madness, but I actually don't know where yet.
Well, that's we don't blame you for taking some time off. It was great to connect with you at SEC Media Days, and I know you did a great job covering Big Ten, but we appreciate you coming on our show and giving us your thoughts before unplugging for a little bit and then getting back to the grind. But thank you, and let everybody know how to follow your coverage.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, if you are a subscriber, or even if you're not, sometimes our articles are not behind a paywall, but you can follow me. I'm Lane Higgins with an I, so like Lane Kiffin, but with an I, from at the Wall Street Journal, and on Twitter, I am at Lane Higgins 17.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lane. Good stuff there. Let's get a break in. When we come back and continue the conversation, how about some high school football?
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning. We are working with a clean slate accident-wise. Heavy traffic load all across the valley. You be careful on that ride in this morning. Put some extra room in there so you have somewhere to go if something goes wrong around you. Why not get healthy where it's cool? You could become a Y member and enjoy over 200 group classes, swimming pools, awesome fitness equipment, and free childcare. The YMCA, Huntsville, and Madison will keep the air on for you. Captain Nick and the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Sportsmed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust Sportsmed, you can too. Sportsmed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
I want to make the most of summer without breaking the bank. So I shopped Kohl's Friends and Family sale. With my 25% off coupon, I headed to the store and got shorts for $14.99, plus an extra 50% off a swimsuit, 40% off patio furniture, and $20 off as a Kohl's Rewards member. More style and more savings for the win. Select styles, $20 off of $100 valid in-store only. 25% offer ends July 31st in-store only. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When our lives were interrupted, Madison Academy immediately began distance learning instruction thanks to our Apple device program and a well-prepared faculty.
When our success in athletics led to a new competitive balance rule, Madison Academy was prepared to face the new challenges head-on.
We understand a thing or two about winning, and it always begins with preparation. Learn how our balanced approach to learning prepares the mind, body, and soul. Visit our website at macademy.org to learn more. Strong minds, strong faith. That's Madison Academy.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
It's been said that there are 3 things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and car commercials. But actually, there's a 4th certainty, the Woody Anderson Ford Rate Lock, that allows you to lock in a finance rate when you factory order a 2023 F-150, Explorer, or Bronco Sport. No more rolling the dice on a future finance rate. Lock it in as low as 2.9% APR for up to 60 months at Woody Anderson Ford today. And while we're featuring 23 F-150, Explorer, and Bronco Sport, this rate lock offer also includes 2023 models of Ranger, Edge, Maverick Gas, and Transit Connect. With approved credit, offer ends 9/5. It's the Summer Supercharged Sales Event at Woody Anderson Ford. And with your trade being worth as much as 30% more than last year, it's a great time to make your move. Oh, and check our Ford Gold certified vehicles too. Low mileage, great warranty, and a full tank of gas and fresh oil change. Swing by today. The Summer Supercharged Sales Event, Woody Anderson Ford.
Depression and anxiety affect almost 20% of Americans each year. At Integrated Behavioral Health, our mission is to provide patient-centered, high-quality mental health services in a caring and compassionate setting.
IBH staff is wonderfully compassionate and friendly. They help me through a lot of my issues. I love this place.
If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, or other mental health disorders, make your appointment today. Call 855-422-1618. Integrated Behavioral Health in Madison and Decatur.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We've been talking a lot about the college football season just around the corner. The start of the college football season just around the corner. Just as fast as that start is, the start of the high school football season. It is so weird to be sitting here saying that the start of the high school football season is, when we come back on Monday, the start of the high school football season, you're going to have jamborees on Monday in 2 weeks. When we get back here on Monday, when we do our show Monday, August 1st, 2 weeks, we will have jamborees and get everything going. This is fast. It is upon us. High school teams are already practicing because if you don't want to go through spring, the state gives you the option of starting a little bit earlier. So we've got teams already in high school football practice, full swing mode. It is here. It's not coming. It's here.
Question about it, it's definitely here, and we are honored this year to be the home for high school football for the Madison Academy Mustangs yet again, Scott. We know, but also we're adding to our family the Buckhorn Bucks and the Randolph Raiders. And you, Austin Coletti and myself, will bring you the action from Randolph. Randolph, one of the fastest growing programs in our area in North Alabama. And the head football coach for the Raiders going into his 3rd season after doing great work in 3 seasons at JP2 High School and having them reach unprecedented heights, a couple of playoff berths. He took the Randolph Raiders to their first 10-win season ever last year and a second-round playoff berth. And now we'll be trying to get them back to the 4A playoffs, and we look forward to bringing you Randolph Raider football this fall. And David Lloyd has been kind enough to join us once again on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline to talk some Raider football. Coach, you're with Drew and Scott this morning. How are you, sir?
Doing great, man. How about you guys?
We're doing great. We're super excited for high school football. We were just in Athens yesterday at Limestone County Media Day. We appreciate their hospitality, and we'll bring you some of that coverage later. But we're really excited for Randolph Raider football. You guys, I know, have had a really good off season of 7-on-7. Really did a nice job last year. 9-win regular season. Get to the second round of the playoffs, 10-2. So I know you got a lot of experience coming back, Coach. You got to be excited.
Yeah, we're really excited. You know, we bring back a good group of core players. You know, we're senior led this year, which is big for us. All those guys have been 3 or 4 year starters, so they bring a lot of experience back to the table. And we're really happy with a lot of the younger guys we've had. You know, they've had a really good summer. They've worked hard, so we've got some new faces at some different spots. And you know, we're just really excited to get going, man.
Mm-hmm. Coach, to just talk about that, I mean, you get there, and now you're really kind of settling in at Randolph. There's no more of them trying to get familiar with you trying to get familiar with them. That's got to make it so much easier when you get into a fall camp to really start to just build on what you want to do, where you can get a little bit more creative, get a little bit more into that playbook a little earlier.
Yeah, it's always good when you can build that and you have that familiarity with each other. But you know, we felt really good after the first year. You know, we've got a great staff that we kept, a lot of continuity with that staff over the last couple of years. So there's a quick familiarity with each other anyway, and it's always great to build on those relationships each year. You got new classes coming in, you've got new players coming out. You want to build that as much as possible. And you know, there's a certain level of trust you build with your guys. You know, we tell them all the time, like, man, as coaches, we don't play a single snap. We're going to trust you to make decisions on the field, and they're going to trust us to do our job and coach them up and prepare them as best as we can and get ready for Friday nights.
And, Coach, talk about the experience you've got coming back. How many seniors have you got returning? And we know you've got some high-profile guys like Nick Strong, who we've known has been a D1 prospect throughout his career there. But talk about some of the experience and some of the key veterans that you've got returning that you're excited about.
Well, it's always great when you can bring back a player like Nick Strong. Just the versatility of his game as an athlete. You know, he played receiver for us last year. You know, he's our starting running back. So we're excited to get him back in that position and move him around, do some different stuff with him. And, you know, Nick does everything that's possible to help our team be better. You know, he's never complained about anything, about having to move positions. He takes it as a challenge and just a way to show his ability as an athlete. It's always great when you get key pieces coming back at a quarterback position with Andrew Hunter. Had a great year last year. He's grown, developed, really has an understanding of our offense. You know, we bring back several offensive linemen that are going to be seniors for us that have started. George Jennings, Harry Walzak, Fedwire up front. Grayson Davenport is a receiver out on the edge. Connor Goodson, who's probably our best defensive player, really leads our defense. He's done a great job last year and had a great summer. He'll help us out on our offense. We got a couple of new faces. We're really excited about a senior, Keegan Morse. He's had a great summer for us in 7-on-7. We're expecting some big things from him. You know, we're really excited about the senior leadership we're going to be able to put on the field.
You're going to need that senior leadership because your region coach is it takes a little bit of leadership to get through it.
There's some very talented football teams in our region, and it really didn't change anything. We traded Madison Academy for Priceville, and, you know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Priceville's a very good football team. They had a record-setting year last year. Coach over there has done a great job for them the last couple of years. You know, so being there, we played each other when I was at JP2. So we're kind of familiar with each other. You know, that's going to be a big game in the region. But I mean, you still got some great teams. Madison County should be very, very talented. You know, getting ready. They were a playoff team last year, getting ready to come back through. You're looking at New Hope with a new coach, Tyler Johnson. They're going to be a lot different. They should be pretty good. You know, so it's going to be a tight region. You know, we're just hoping that we can be around in those top four and be able to play some football in November.
And then I wanted to piggyback and go back on something you were talking about with Nick Strong. I know you told us last year that he did move to receiver. How did that help him kind of expand his game? Because we saw him early in his career as a running back. Certainly he has a great skill set and talent to run the football for you. But how did it kind of help him expand his game to become a receiver for you and become comfortable running routes, catching the football? Because you've always been a guy that hasn't been afraid to sling the ball around a little bit, Coach.
Right, and we just want to do what we feel like we can get the ball to our weapons. And Nick is a versatile guy. Like I said, he can play in the backfield and he can be a 1,000-yard rusher, or he can go out wide. And he caught 50-something balls for 900 yards last year and 14 touchdowns. He's a guy that can play anywhere. And I think what it did is, Nick's always been an athlete. He falls into that category. Some people look at him as maybe he's a little undersized as a running back, but Nick has worked his tail off, and he's put on some really good weight since last year. Hasn't lost any of his speed or his quickness or the things that make him a tough player to defend. And he's always had the capability of going out wide, being able to catch the football and run the routes. And Nick's one of the few guys we have that understand every single position on our offense. We can literally put him anywhere, and he knows what to do and knows how to do it. He could go do that job. And that gives us, like you were talking about earlier, the ability to be creative with how we use him and what we do with him. So we're really excited about that opportunity. And like I said, Nick takes it as a challenge. And his mindset is, I'm going to be the best at whatever position you want to put me in. He's begging all the time for us to let him throw some passes. That might be the weak spot in his game is his passing ability. We back off that a little bit.
Yeah, and Coach, I know you're very close with Drew Phillips, and you told us what a good job he was doing at West Morgan, and they were one of our Bryant Bank teams of the week last year. I know you guys were as well, and we're really excited about that opener on the road. Talk about opening with West Morgan, and then and kind of the relationship you have with Coach Phillips. And pardon me, I guess that game is at Randolph, right? My fault.
That game is at West Morgan.
It is at West Morgan. Okay, I was trying to make sure because I couldn't remember if it was at home or not. So yeah, okay, gotcha. So yeah, okay, we got it. It is at West Morgan.
Yeah, we'll be on the road at West Morgan, and we probably didn't do ourselves any favors with our non-region schedule. You're already going to play 3 playoff teams within your region anyway, and our non-region schedule is West Morgan, Madison Academy, and Fairview. So that's 3 more playoff teams.
Yeah, Fairview had a great year last year.
Right, and Coach Redding's done a phenomenal job with Fairview the last couple of years. Was 5A Coach of the Year last year, and rightfully so. And what Coach Phillips has done at West Morgan in a short amount of time has really been remarkable. He's grown that program in numbers. They're a very good football team. They're a tough physical football team. And we just decided, we told our team, last year we ran into Brooks in the second round of the playoffs. We didn't really face a lot of adversity last year, which probably hurt us the deeper we went into the playoffs. So we wanted to make sure that wasn't an issue this year. And so we're going to find out what kind of team we've got real fast with West Morgan, and then our second game is at home against Madison Academy. So it doesn't get any easier after that, but Drew's done a phenomenal job. He's a great man. He's a great coach. He's a great leader of young men. He knows our staff pretty well. We did an OTA with those guys last summer, and Drew and I talked on and off this summer. And we both feel the same way. If you want to win games in the playoffs, you've got to play good teams in the season. West Morgan's a very good football team. The offense and the defense they run are going to give some people trouble and some issues, and we want to face that early and just see how we can handle those tests. They're going to be a playoff team, and if you want to make it far enough, you're going to have to be able to compete and beat teams like West Morgan.
Coach, but your schedule does, though. If you look at it, it could not be any better as far as how it's structured. You get 5 games in your bye week, and then you get your next 5 games. But of those 5 of the 2 sets, 3 are at home in both sides. So, whoever set that part up did a pretty good job.
Well, it was funny kind of how that happened. with all the fluctuating Madison Academy and some of the other schools were doing up to 4A, down to 3A, back here, back there, our schedule changed 3 different times. So when we finally had it all set, that's just the way it had to work out. Luckily, we had West Morgan scheduled. They were originally scheduled at the end of the year, and Coach Phillips was gracious enough to move stuff around where we could actually get them and keep them on the schedule. We kept MA on the schedule. And the Fairview stuff, Coach Redding and I have known each other. We've played each other. We used to be in the same region. And he needed an away game, I think, to balance out his schedule. So that gave us an opportunity for a 6th home game, and, man, I wasn't going to turn that down. So it just kind of fell in our lap where we had 6 home games, and, we've got a pretty tough schedule, which we like. We want to be challenged. We want to be pushed, and we want to know what kind of team we've got, on the field. So we're very excited about the 6 home games, and, of those 6, man, there's a lot of big games that are going to take place on Garth.
Well, there is, and I know playing a Fairview, it was a semifinalist last year, and playing Madison Academy, semifinals as well. Obviously, you talked about running into that really talented Brooks team. Playing teams like that helps you maybe it's like playing a playoff team or playoff game during the regular season. It really measures your team and gets you ready and hardens you from good competition, I would think, Coach.
Right, and and each of those teams present a different challenge for you, and those teams are going to be very good. Those teams are going to make runs in the postseason, and we start our year at West Morgan and then home against Madison Academy, and we end our year with the last 2 games at home against Briceville and home against Fairview. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't get any tougher to start your season and end your season than where you are there, and we like the challenge, and like I said, we want to be able to push our guys and see what we're capable of. And, we may not have the 9-1 record, but I think we may be a better prepared team going into the playoffs. And that's where you want to be. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants a chance to be top 4 in their region, and everybody wants a chance in November to play as much free football as you can get.
And we're looking forward to bringing you Randolph Raider football 4A Region 8. They'll be competing in. And Coach, I know you're super excited, you and your kids. How did you guys handle the offseason? I know there's the new rules. Did you guys have spring, or you guys have a lot of multi-sport athletes, or did you start early in July?
We went through spring. We have a lot of multi-sport athletes. We have several guys that play soccer, and they had a great year, man, into the postseason. So we didn't see those guys very much, which is fine with us. And we actually pulled some starters that we didn't go through spring just because, we just wanted to rest them. We didn't really need to see some of those guys. We wanted to see some of our younger players in some different situations and some different roles. So it really gave us a good opportunity to assess kind of what our depth is going to be moving forward. So we had a pretty good spring, especially with a lot of the young guys. And then kind of transition that into a good summer. And we feel good about our summer. Our attendance has been high all summer. And we talk all the time about it. It's not enough just to show up and go through the motions. Like, you got to have intent with what you're doing. You got to go out there with a purpose. And our guys have done a phenomenal job this summer of just coming in and attacking each day. We talked about it the other day with them that their only job is we don't want them to concern themselves with anything else but them. Their only job is to try to be better than they were yesterday. So we talked a little bit about, dude, when you come in here, man, you got to chase your best. You ought to be chasing your best every single day. And if we can do that, we'll be successful at the end of the year. So that's all we want to focus on. Let's be better than we were yesterday.
Well, I can tell you Austin and I are excited because we've done some games at 97.7 The Zone on Garth at that beautiful facility over the home stadium, and I think it's a picturesque, a venue for high school football. It's a great atmosphere over there, and I know you've been super excited with the support you've gotten from Randolph so far.
Man, it's been awesome, and it's just an awesome place to drive into work in the morning and just see that kind of, like you were talking about, that view that you've got coming in. And football Friday nights has been awesome, man. Last year, we couldn't ask for anything better. Our students really came out and supported and showed out, and our student section was great. Our band, our cheerleaders, our dance team, the support we get from the parents. Like, it's just an awesome, awesome place to play football on Friday nights. We're really excited to get everybody back into our stadium and get going for Friday night. Man, like you said earlier, like it's not
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to bringing full coverage of Randolph Raider football, Coach. We look forward to working with you this year, featuring you on Talking Ball each week and talking Raider football. Thank you for joining us and previewing the start of fall camp for you coming up next week and then this season. Really always have enjoyed talking football with you, and we look forward to this season, man. It's going to be a great one, we hope, on Garth Road. But thank you for joining us and talking some Randolph Raider football this morning.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. We look forward to partnering with you guys and having you call some of our games. We're really excited about it. It's kind of the next step in our program. So, man, I appreciate everything you guys do for sports in our area. And, man, if I can help you, let me know.
Thanks, Coach. Let's get that final break in. Tomorrow's headlines today when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning. We are working with a clean slate accident-wise. Heavy traffic load all across the valley. You be careful on that ride in this morning. Put some extra room in there so you have somewhere to go if something goes wrong around you. Why not get healthy where it's cool? You could become a Y member and enjoy over 200 group classes, swimming pools, awesome fitness equipment, and free childcare. The YMCA, Huntsville, and Madison will keep the air on for you. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Mercury Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, Mercury Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
And now a small business setback is assessed by a beloved family pediatrician.
Oh, hey, Tiger. Big scary tree branch give your work truck a boo-boo? Yeah. Wow. See this thing on my phone here? It's the Progressive mobile app. Just push that little button there and report your claim. Attaboy.
When owning a small business gets painful, Progressive Commercial is here to make it all better. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
What's this? Candy drawer? Who wants a lollipop?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions. Photo claims not available in all states or situations.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
This time of year, it's hot. But with Brooks & Collier, you can be outside and comfortable. That's why Brooks & Collier has deep discounts on a large selection of patio umbrellas, furniture, and grills. With these patio umbrellas, you're sure to have a nice, shaded spot to relax. Lucy knows the best spot is a shaded spot. So if you're looking to spruce up your backyard and make it more comfortable, visit North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years. 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
From the Nick Saban Show.
We talk about finishing. You know, that's like the number one word.
To Alabama football.
Touchdown, Alabama!
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, I'm Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia in Huntsville, Alabama. We are the proud transportation sponsors of Talking Ball at 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your tomorrow's headlines today. And I did not even know this was a thing. But apparently there was Major League Football set to be played in Mobile.
Yeah, there was. They announced it a few weeks ago, but looking sketchy.
Looking sketchy? It is done.
Yeah.
In fact, so much so that the hotels that the players were staying in yesterday, they got they got evicted out of their hotels yesterday because Major League Football did not pay the bills. And so the players got sent home. Coaches got sent home with no expenses. There were players that needed to get home to the West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, and basically were left stranded. Had no way to get home, no way to do anything, no funds, nothing. Major League Football, it was and is a publicly traded stock. So, I mean, they are on the stock exchange, but...
For how much longer, we don't know.
260 players kicked out of their hotels during regularly scheduled off-season activities. Players and coaches were in meetings and got notified that they were being kicked out of their hotels. If they were able to get back to their rooms before the hotel got to the rooms, they were able to get their stuff out. If not, the hotel locked them out and then was going in and getting their stuff out for them, not even letting them get back into their rooms. So there will not be Major League Football going on. I did not even know Major League Football was a thing.
Well, I had seen it announced a few weeks ago that it was coming in Mobile, but you know how much I pay attention to professional football outside of the NFL and how much I love it. So I figured it wouldn't get off the ground.
I don't even know where that would fall in the ring of pecking order. I mean, obviously the very, 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 very bottom, but
I mean,
I don't
come
know.
on. I mean, I think they had some success here for a few years with indoor football and arena football, and it had its place for a while, and it was unique. It was probably the version of football outside of the NFL that I enjoyed the most watching at times, just because it was different in the way they created it, and it was indoors. But all this other stuff, this USFL, they've had these XFL, combines and stuff. I could care less.
Well, the XFL, I know you don't care, but the XFL did announce yesterday the cities that they are going to play in and the head coaches. So
3 of them are in Texas. I understand that.
Arlington, Texas, they're going to play in Choctaw Stadium. Bob Stoops, though, is going to be the head coach
once again
in Arlington
for about 5 games.
In Houston, Wade Phillips is going to be the head coach. Yeah. Orlando, Florida got a team. Terrell Buckley will be the head coach.
Yeah, he's been an assistant coach in college for several years.
Las Vegas is going to be a spot. Rod Woodson will be the head coach in Las Vegas. San Antonio got an XFL city.
Hines Ward, I think, right?
Hines Ward is the head coach in San Antonio.
I'm not buying it.
Seattle got a team. Jim Haslett will be the head coach in Seattle. Washington, D.C., Reggie Barlow, the head coach.
I think he used to coach Alabama State at one time.
He did. And St. Louis, Missouri, they're going to play in the Dome where the Rams used to play. And Anthony Beck will be the head coach there. So those are your XFL cities for next year.
Riveting.
You mean to tell me you two didn't know Jerry Glanville was part of Major League Football?
Oh, yeah. He was
had
supposed to be
no
one day.
idea Major League Football, had no idea Jerry Glanville. No.
Well,
no
I mean,
idea.
we love Coach. He's been on the drive many times, but I knew, he was part of the XFL last year, And now they're cranking that. We'll see if he's a part of the XFL. I don't know. I don't care.
No, I did not know, Jerry.
It's all going to suck.
Do you know how many teams were they going to have?
I don't know. It was just Glanville talked about it on the drive for a couple of minutes.
And then probably got locked out of his hotel.
I'm just trying to figure. I mean, like I said, I was intrigued. Okay, here we go. So yes, Jerry Glanville was the head coach of the Alabama team.
Uh-oh.
And they were called the Alabama Airborne.
The Airborne. Well, they're grounded now.
It was the Arkansas Attack, based out of Arkansas.
Yeah.
The Ohio Force, based out of Canton, Ohio. And the Virginia Armada, based out of Virginia. So the 2016 season, they canceled it. They almost had a season in 18 through 20, and then 21 they tried to get a season going. Virginia, Arkansas, Ohio, and Alabama. So there you go. They tried to get it off the ground.
And literally didn't.
No, they didn't. So there you go. 256-576-4977. Just a minute left. Hey, don't forget, and I have played it. I've gotten $10 worth, but you got to get your Powerball tickets.
Uh-oh.
The drawing is tonight.
Trying to get $1 billion, huh?
It's over $1 billion. I got $10 worth of tickets.
There you go.
It's over $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You should get one. Just one.
Maybe I should.
All right.
Well, we appreciate David Lloyd for joining us. That was a great conversation.
Yeah.
We're going to be the home of the Randolph Raiders high school football this year. Austin Coletti and I will bring you that action on our high school streaming network. And we appreciate Lane Higgins talking some SEC and some Big Ten media days. The Big Ten, Kevin Warren puffing his chest out, thinking they're going to rule the world.
Well, he did soften.
They're not going to.
He did soften his stance, though, on the automatic bids when it comes to college football expansion. He said that that was something that they were staunch on, was they wanted the automatic bids, and he said that they've gonna have to loosen their stance a little bit on that. He said that there are creative ways to do that, and automatic qualifiers and all that stuff. It is a solvable issue for them. They're kind of loosening their stance on that.
Well, I mean, I know Brandon Marcel. He's been with us before on 24/7 Sports. He sat down with him, and he even broached, Brandon did with him, a 16-team playoff. He said that has not been discussed. I still think it'll be 12 to start off, but we will see. But it sounds like everything's on the table as far